Leslie.
This is he.
I bet you can't say Malembe.
Oh, Lord, man, that is
That's not what I said.
Malembe.
I bet you can't say Namaste.
Say that again.
Namaste.
Maleste.
I did not
Tell
you.
What it was?
Namaste.
Okay, namaste.
Ixbier.
No, the one they know of it.
Shalom.
Isbier.
No, he's not be here. That's very bad grammar.
Oh, he's not be here.
Right.
What is it again?
Shalom.
Shalom.
Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
You know what any of that mean?
No, how they do, no?
How they do? In all the spiritual ramifications of Jamaica. Or we could have said one love.
Yes.
Or we could have just said greetings, peace and love.
Malembe.
However you say it, it means the same thing. Akwaba. And yes, thank you. Clap yourself. And you see like how you couldn't say it? We're going to get somebody who maybe can say welcome in a different kind of way. Ladies and
who is that?
Mr. Doric Gray.
Okay.
The acting, that's not him. Executive Director of the Jamaican National Heritage Trust.
Please
Doric,
give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Here he comes.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, tonight, on behalf of the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, I want to welcome you to the Seville Heritage Park for the 21st celebration of Emancipation Jubilee, from its first outing here at Seville Heritage Park in 1997. We have a very interesting lineup for you tonight, and because of that, it is not a talk show. It is where we are going to be exposed to the culture of the ancestors. We want to remember them in that struggle for freedom that finally came in August 1st, 1838. Thank you for coming. We have a great show lined up for you. Thank you.
So tonight, we want to sing. We want everybody to join in the singing. If you know any night song, any wake song, just put it on the table and we're going to sing it. But we're going to start first with which group? One of the best groups from Westmoreland. What them name?
You know, I don't know which group.
You don't know which group? You drink up too much of the rum. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to Westmoreland. We're going to Westmoreland, and we're going to bring on stage the Hartford Cultural Group, who will lead us in a suite of 9 night songs. Make them feel welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hartford Cultural Group, here they come.
Virgin and friend, good evening. Good evening, oh. Let me know, come here if you make moderation. Aye. We come here to jump revelation. What I tell you now? So what make you plan the pool in a me yard? Say me no come here fi make moderation. Me say me come here fi preach revelation. Aya, so what make your plan the poor in a me yard? Say
Now, every night, as you know, there are people who come to give speeches. The owner for the yard. Where the owner for the yard? Who is the owner for this yard? Who is the owner for this yard? When you go to she's the second owner. The first owner, sir. When you walk into a parish, who you have to report to? The who? Very good. You report to the custos. And if you don't find the custos, who you report to? The mayor. Is Mayor Belnavis in the house? Mayor Belnavis, the owner for the yard. We want more rum. We can't sing at all. Away the owner for the yard. A round of applause for Mayor Belnavis.
As we celebrate Emancipation Day 2018, we're reminded of the heroic actions of our forefathers and their contribution towards our freedom. Today marks a very triumphant and historic day for us as Jamaicans. There are many circumstances that could have prevented us from achieving this milestone. However, with a bountiful sense of appreciation and humility, we celebrate this Jamaica's 56th year of independence. Slavery was largely successful because it was executed on the basis of division and confusion. The promotion of a strong family unit was therefore discouraged, and as it threatened the very existence of an enslaved society, we recognize that. Although slavery did not inspire a stable family life, it is understood that the stability of the family gives rise to a good moral and social decisions, while ultimately serving as one of the pillars on which society is built. Our emancipation from shackles of slavery must now transcend into other eras of our lives. It must be used as a catalyst for our internal independence and should ignite a renewed interest for us to govern our own path. One must therefore recognize that by building on the foundation of our forefathers, we strive to better our country and inevitably impact the strength, prosperity, and well-being of our people. The contribution of those who fought for our freedom and has molded our culture and heritage and is invaluable and so as such. So St. Anne, by extension, and the wider Jamaica will forever be in their debt. Let me take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to further greet you and expect that tonight's celebration will serve as an inspiration for all St. Annians and, of course, the wider Jamaica. To keep the spirit of the nation alive and the nation building and the manifestation of our culture, it is important to recognize that it has to be in many shape, size, and form because creativity is alive and well in Jamaica. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mayor Belnavis. The mayor mentioned the Minister of Labor and Social Security, who really should have get a prize, you know, because every single Jubilee she has been here. In fact, every single event of national and cultural importance, we know that Minister Robinson is going to be present. Can we give her a round of applause? And can we invite her, please, to come and greet us?
I know when I am in Northeast St. Anne. My colleagues, my parliamentary colleagues who are here this evening, the Attorney General, Mrs. Marlene Malahoo Fort, Senator Royal Reid, the Minister of Education, His Worship the Mayor of St. Anne's Bay, the Lady of the Moment, the Minister of Culture, Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange, other councillors from the St. Anne Parish Council, and ladies and gentlemen, you're all very important, boys and girls. It's good to be here celebrating with you one more year. God has been good to us in Jamaica, and we want to say thanks. Seville and Emancipation celebration on the 31st of July is very important. And this very spot that we are on is a very important spot. And every year I say that because I believe that it is important to say it, to repeat it, especially for the young ones. This is a spot where 4 of our cultures were, merge. The Tainas were here, the Spaniards were here, the British were here, and so too were our African ancestors. So when we are here, we are truly on hallowed ground, and Seville is a very important place. Every time I come here and I see the dance and I see the different forms of art and culture reflected, I know that there is indeed hope for Jamaica. And the indomitable spirit of the Jamaican is always on show. And it is that indomitable spirit why we can stand here, of our ancestors, why we can stand here tonight and celebrate the persons who fought to end that heinous trade, the slave trade. And we thank God today, and we stand on the shoulders of men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice for us to be here tonight. And I want us to recognize that. This is also the parish where the first national hero is from, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And he taught us a lot of good things. And he's one of the greatest ambassadors that Jamaica, and indeed St. Anne, has produced. And, you know, I want to talk to the young people. I see this phenomenon of bleaching just coming, it's everywhere. And I say to you that Marcus Garvey said that the black skin, we should wear it as a badge of honor. Why are we bleaching? Why do we want to look like the people who enslaved us? I say to all of the young people, wake up. Sizzla Kalonji tell us that we can be the best that we want to be, and that you can't keep a good man down. So we don't have to bleach in order to rise. Chronics tell us that, you know. Chronics tell us that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to encourage us as Jamaicans to be proud of ourselves, proud of our nation, proud of our leaders, proud of our heroes, proud of all the people who paved the way so that we can stand here tonight and say that we are indeed free.
Wesley,
This is he.
you have any prize to give away?
Yeah, man, we have enough prize, man.
We have a prize to give.
Sky Castle.
All right. Anybody who can tell us how much money the plantation owners received after emancipation? We must make Professor answer the question. Sarah, wave her hand there, you know. Sarah,
Yes.
wave her hand.
Of
Professor,
course.
come and tell us something about that, Professor. Come, please. Or you want us to bring the microphone to you?
Let she come, man.
Let she come. What a way you can speak English.
Let she come.
Let she come.
See why I want she
Let
come.
she
You see the
come in her
outfit?
prettiness.
You see the
Clap
outfit.
her into her prettiness.
She wears some of the most
Yes. The
gorgeous.
Custos is here. I'd like
African
to acknowledge the Custos. And I'd like to
Honorable
acknowledge
Custos.
the Custos birthday man to her left. You think we forget?
Custos.
Happy birthday. Yes, here is Professor. You look gorgeous. You look fabulous.
Am I going to get the prize?
Certainly, if the answer is correct.
So, 20 million pounds sterling in cash. They borrow it.
We finish pay them.
They pay it off in 2015.
After them tell us that them not give we nothing.
After them tell us them not giving us anything and we must forget about slavery and move on.
Professor, I am not understanding.
And then 27 million more in this scamming called apprenticeship.
I
So
am
47 million pound they got.
180 years after slavery abolished. Them still a get money.
And the black taxpayers in Britain helped to pay it off.
Then who get the money?
The planters who enslaved our ancestors.
But them did dead and gone. So who get the money in
the
20?
the people who are their
Them,
descendants.
them descendants.
Yes.
And,
like the former Prime Minister of the UK.
right, but I'm sure that we must have gotten something.
Yes, because he had an ancestor.
No, may I talk about we now?
We
We
not-
have to get something.
Nothing but freedom. But we must not underestimate freedom, but we still want some cash.
So, how are we going to get the cash?
Well, everybody has to come on board. There are some people, who side with the colonizers and say, them can't pay, so we're sorry for them.
So we call them sellout.
Sell out. But we are saying, so Minister Grange there, she has established a wonderful committee, a council, and we're fighting on every front. So, come on board. 47 million pounds. And our ancestors didn't get anything. And they built those cities.
And them want to rush us out after Windrush on top of that. Then no more compensation that we
Well,
must need.
they're talking compensation for Windrush, but it's a model for what we have to do.
Right.
So nobody mind them people in the newspaper who are telling us, forget about it and move on.
So when you say come on board, Prof, what can the ordinary citizens, the people who are not on the ministers' committee, what can we at this emancipation celebration do?
When you hear people saying, we don't deserve reparation, you can tell them that they're uneducated. So the Minister of Education somewhere here, I'm sure he'd agree with him. Gone?
No.
All right. But
Oh.
I'm sure he would agree with me to say that educated people don't argue like that. Right? We inherited a colonial mentality. We must liberate ourselves from that mentality. We are free now, we have free will. So, get on board, and when we call you, when we come out to your community, and we call you to watch a film or to listen to some of us talk or sign a petition, you're going to come out.
We must give her a prize. She's a bright student. Give her a sticky and a star and a good report to go home to our parents and clap the minister for setting up the committee. Thank you very much, Prof. Who
So
is this? Who
what
is this
you coming to do
gorgeous
there?
one? She come up here every year. You have an answer? What's your answer? What you answering?
20 million.
How you learn that it's 20 million? You just learned that? No, clap her, man. She good. She good as gold.
I can't give her the prize.
What's your name?
Savannah Moore,
Where you come from, Savannah?
Jamaica.
Amina to dance.
You asked for that one, man.
Did. Give
I'm not helping you. You
Give
asked for that
Savannah the
one.
prize. You're beautiful and you're
where-
bright.
where you say
you're
you're from again?
fabulous.
Where you tell her you come from?
Jamaica.
A proud Jamaican. Yes, shake her hand and give her the prize.
That is for your mommy and daddy. Okay? Tell them it's from you. Oh, it's not
That's
fair
not
to her.
fair. No, because she learned the information right here, sir, and get the prize. So if she
All
wants
right.
to share it, but we can't say she must carry it home out of order.
So hold on. You want me give her a weekend for two? No must fear her parents.
In catch me, I never know what was in the envelope. All right, so Professor Shepherd talked about the value of education, and we're very happy that the Minister of Education is with us tonight. Him hear everything we say, and him is going to write it down. But we're going to let him off the hook, or maybe we won't, of talking in the capacity as Minister of Education, because tonight, Senator Ruel Reid is representing our Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
Good night. How you do? All right? All right, wonderful. It is my honor and delight to represent our Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, at this year's Emancipation Jubilee, themed the Genesis. Genesis is not only synonymous with the Bible, but literally means the beginning. In order to discover the beginning, we have to look back into the past, which requires a deep understanding of our history. It is a special honor to speak on something of such personal significance to me. As a historian myself and a teacher of history, I would like to shed some light on the importance of having an Emancipation Jubilee and how history in education is important in such a celebration. Before we continue further, it is imperative that we understand emancipation. Emancipation, in a general sense, means to be free from restraint, bondage, but in a specific sense, refer to the liberation of my ancestors, our ancestors, from slavery and inhumane action. Let us recall that our foreparents, enslaved Africans, were fully emancipated in the British West Indies in the year 1838. Yet prior to emancipation, persons of African descent were considered chattel and mere property. But emancipation provided freedom to decide on one's destiny. It is for this reason that the celebration of Emancipation Day is important. This Emancipation Day commemorates, therefore, 180 years of freedom in Jamaica. It is especially important because the celebration of this freedom predates our independence, dating back to celebration in 1893. This shadows that even before achieving the right rule our own country, we as a people believe in the celebration of freedom, one which not all countries in the Americas do celebrate. In this sense, we have to lead the way in seeing emancipation not only as the end of a dark time, but the beginning of the walk to self-determination and true freedom. A beginning for a modern Jamaica. With all this said, we cannot have this celebration without peering into the past. History is essential not only to these celebrations, but to the development of the minds of our young people, because it allows us to contextualize what we see and helping us to make better judgments and as we create new things. History is important in education because history provides context. And as some say, context is everything. History allows us as a people to look at Emancipation Day with glee, knowing of the sacrifices made by our ancestors to achieve this freedom. Knowledge is power. And it is this self-knowledge which allows Jamaica to stand out as one of the earliest places to acknowledge emancipation as a day of significance. Put your hands together for Jamaica. We little but with Talawa. We lead the world in so many things. Incidentally, if we look at Trump's country, United States of America, despite of their many achievements, to this day, there is not a national public holiday celebrating the freeing of enslaved Africans. Furthermore, history allows for a fair assessment of where we are going and where we came from. In education, this content is essential for perspective. Often we do not marvel at our achievements in the short space in which we have accomplished them. If we look at things in generations and not only years, we are indeed humbled. Can you imagine our ancestors who lived 3 generations before us were enslaved Africans, born on a plantation into enslavement or trafficked on a ship from Africa. Still a mere 180 years after emancipation, these descendants, enslaved Africans, have sought independence for the island of Jamaica, equality for its people, and protection of its resources. These are things to be proud of. And finally, history is essential in driving innovation and developing into the society that we desire. History entails learning from the past. Innovation requires the acknowledgement of issues and a determination to find solutions to them. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has learned and understood mistakes made in the past. Necessarily evils in some cases, such as the shift system in our high schools. Some decades ago, Caribbean history was not even taught, Professor Shepard, in our schools. All we knew was European history. Olive Sr. wrote in her book, Colonial Girls' School, studying history, ancient and modern, kings and queens of England, steppes of Russia, wheat fields of Canada. There was nothing of our landscape there, nothing about us at all. We have to be grateful, therefore, how the narrative has changed and how the tides have shifted. We not only teach the history of our ancestors now at our primary and high school levels, we train our teachers and support the research that goes into discovering our past. And Professor Shepard, you'll be very happy to know that I've given instructions to our technocrats at our ministry that with the new national standards curriculum, we need to weave our history and culture into the curriculum. And for the PEP that will start in 2019, the questions, the assignments, but also be culturally relevant. That means aspect of our history, the narrative of our history provides a backdrop on the kind of questions and the materials that students will be exposed to in those assessments. Once again, if we do not know where we came from, we cannot truly charter the best course forward. We are therefore doomed to repeat the same mistakes without proper context. So in conclusion, tonight, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, it is indeed a momentous occasion as we look at the beginning of our fight towards emancipation. While emancipation was not the final destination, it was a significant moment in our steps towards creating a society that is truly free. It is a moment to acknowledge the contributions of our heroes and our heroines, such as Nanny of the Maroons, Sam Sharp, other warriors such as Kodja and the countless other ancestors who fought for the simple right to be free. As such, it is truly a jubilee, but such a celebration is empty without an understanding and indeed an appreciation of the price of emancipation. This appreciation comes from the knowledge of one's own history. It is the knowledge of our history that allows us to see where we went wrong and to improve, to make better judgments and push the envelope. As such, Emancipation Jubilee is truly the genesis, the beginning of our looking back, to chart a better course forward. And with that, forward together, forward for a better and peaceful Jamaica, land we love.
I have a question to ask you.
Go ahead, please.
You did know say emancipation wasn't just about physically leaving the plantation?
No, I didn't know about that.
Well, may I tell you now, it was a social and economic and political movement.
Yes.
That means to say, we did also want the right to vote. You did not say only 106 people in St. Thomas could vote when the voting right did come about.
So these were white people or black people?
These were also black people who had property.
Oh.
You did not say Paul Bogle could have voted.
So him did have property?
Then how you mean? Paul never have property. Paul Bogle never own nothing. What him did own? Him did own land and what again? And what? Somebody say a bakery? Did some, why are you laughing?
No, but the lady said planting.
Oh, I did not hear that. He must have had a planting farm is what
I would
she
think so.
meant to say.
And maybe our grandmother tell her she used to get a few
Bunches.
Thank you.
If you're going to be correct. And that's why them lock him up, you know. That's why them attempted to lock him up and shut him out. But them never know who was Paul Bogle people.
So who was Paul Bogle people?
The Kumina people, man.
Oh, yes.
And them go down at the courthouse, you see. Then go down at the courthouse. And then go on with something. Go bail him, oh, go bail him. Him down a Moran Bay, we a go bail him. Go bail him, oh, go bail him. We down a Moran Bay, we a go bail him. You don't know that song? Or is me can't sing it properly? You don't want the Port Moran to come in a group sing it for you, no? Then clap them, no? Go bail him, oh, go bail him. Him down a Moran Bay, we a go bail him. Go bail him, oh, go bail him. Him down a Moran Bay, we a go bail him.
Malem. Malem to the ancestors. Malem.
Malembe.
Malem.
Malembe.
Malem one Kent.
Malembe.
Malem Pandamono. Yetu kwenga Franyandiko. Mom. Yeah, I got morning come again. It's a year of jubilee. Jubilee, jubilee, this is the year of jubilee. We victorious this is the year of jubilee.
This is the year of Jubilee. Beg you a minute, please. Please. Stay. Stay in place. Sisters and brothers, it's a minute to midnight. Wherever you are, we ask you to be still, to be quiet. A minute is a long time. Imagine how long the ancestors waited. And that minute of silence will be broken by Mr. Andrew Broadbaugh reading the Emancipation Proclamation. And then I'll come back and tell you what will happen next. Please be quiet where you are. Thank you.
By the Queen, a proclamation, wherein an act has been passed by the legislature of this island of Jamaica for terminating the present system of apprenticeship on the first day of August next, and thereby granting the blessing and privileges of unrestricted freedom to all classes of its inhabitants, and whereas it is incumbent on all the inhabitants of this our island to testify their grateful sense of this divine favor, we do thereby and therefore, with the advice of our Privy Council of this our said island, direct and appoint that Wednesday, the said first day of August next, be observed in all churches and chapels as a day of general thanksgiving to Almighty God for these his mercies, and of humble intercession for his continued blessing and protection on this most important occasion. And we do hereby call upon persons of all classes within this our said island to observe this said day of August next with the same reverence and respect which is observed and due to the Sabbath. Witness, His Excellency Sir Lionel Smith, Knight Commander of the Most Honorable Military Order of the Bath, Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Hanoverian Order, a Lieutenant General in Her Majesty's Land Forces, and Colonel of the 40th Regiment of Foot, Captain General, Governor-in-Chief, and Commander of the forces in and over our said island of Jamaica and other, the territories thereon depending in America, Chancellor and Vice Admiral of the same, at San Diego de la Vega, this 16th day of June, Anno Domini 1838, in the second year of our reign. God save the Queen.
As you know, in 1997, the remains of some of our African ancestors were identified here on this property at Seville, and they were reinterred in the front of the Great House. Before that, we used to be dumped in the sea, and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 were then buried on a riverside. Tonight, in salute of our African ancestors, wreaths will be laid at the monument at which those bodies were reinterred. The wreath layers will be led by the Honorable Olivia Grange, and that party will include the Honorable Norma Walters, Costas Rotolorum, the Honorable Shahini Robinson, who addressed us earlier, the Honorable Ruel Reid, representing the Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Holness. They will be joined by the Attorney General, Marlene Malahou Fort, Mayor Belle Navis, Junior Minister in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, the Honorable Orlando Terrelong, Professor Vereen Shepherd, Denzel Thorpe, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Mrs. Lalita Davis Mattis, the Chair of the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, and Mr. Doric Gray, the Executive Director of the JNHT. We will now put the lights back in the house. We will send the party off with good energies, and the Port Morant Kumina group will continue to play from the stage. Thank you very much.
Mambo como sita volale. Oh, Mr. One day to the me caught young Baba Sakona. Yeleta me caught young your Baba Sakona. Well, I need Yeleta your Mumbakaya Baba Sakona. Yeleta you caught young Baba Sakona.